windshield. And now, break that, and it's all the track, and we'd have a lot. But then, so back to the open. We got a couple rules that right now that's got changed in the last couple weeks that is be questionable. That's more the Midwest Tour, that's made the changes, and we have to make some decisions on our end. I think my decision is not official yet. I have to talk to my group, my tech people, but we'll probably allow certain things. But if a car's dominating, we're just escalate to them. This is what we got to do. We can't and as I've said to Chad, that we can't have someone come in there and dominate. No. What I mean by that is lap the field and win every week, because the fans don't like that, and really either does the people that he's racing against. So my job is to make it competitive. And I was worried about Chad there at the beginning of the last year, at the beginning of the year, but then he just evened out, and I think at both tracks the four-cylinder races were as equal as could be, fair as can be, at both tracks.
It was. If you made a mistake, the guy capitalized.
Yep.
People ask me all the time, what track do you prefer better, Merritt or Tri-City? For me personally, Merritt. I love the close racing. That guy makes a freckle, and I got him.
Yeah.
Where Tri-City, he can almost spin and still gather your spot, and you're hard to pass that man.
Right.
So I like that interact close racing. Mm-hmm. And other guys, oh no, I love the wide open, the Tri-City.
Yeah.
It's your preference.
Right. It's your preference. So it's going to be interesting. For me, on the cyber stock, I'm looking kind of, you guys.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I hope so.
We have a really good group of guys who race and who race good together, and I think that's what when it started. I wasn't racing yet, but now where it's at, like everybody's pretty close friends. We all kind of just hang out and we help each other out when we can. So
as a group, that you guys all are aware of like what a Ham and a Genema and guys like that. You know what you're racing against.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And we know. And you're okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know when I go into an event where like even Alan Height or Brian Busting are there, they're good guys, man, and they're really fast.
Yep.
But they're key on their setup. And I think that's what a lot of guys forget is it's your setup.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all the power in the world, but if you can't have your car to handle, you ain't going nowhere.
I'll agree.
Yeah, so I mean that's what those guys have, and some of it's just natural talent out of all of them. I mean, there's some guys out there.
Ryan.
Ryan Courier's one of them who has natural talent. Alan Height's one of them who have natural talent. I mean, there's guys. You have the natural talent. You guys get into a race car. I think all of us do.
Yeah.
You get into a race car and you know what you're doing.
Right.
You get that. You kind of just get that drive,
Yeah.
It's kind of funny you say that, because when we showed up this year, everybody in the pits like, oh damn, his background is demolition derby and bump and run. He's gonna be the roughest man on the track. And I prided myself on being clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I get in one tangle all year, and I get labeled a dirty, and I'm like, oh my god, I just wanted to rip my own head off, because I pride myself to be clean.
Yeah.
You don't win a race by bumping somebody.
No.
Yeah.
Or slamming somebody.
You can bump somebody as long as you don't lose it.
Right.
And
there was a couple times, granted, yes, I got into somebody. If they got a little sideways, I'm the first one to hit my brake. I want to pass you. I don't want to beat you.
Right.
That's what bump and run's for.
Yep. Right.
I want to pass you clean. I want to race you. I don't want to bump you out of my way.
Yeah.
So, but it was a blast. I had a blast all year.
Yeah. You're so cute. How about you? Did you do get any car wrecks this year? Race wrecks, I should say.
Got into a couple.
Did you?
Almost got a checker.
That's what I want to hear about. So tell us about that. How did you almost get a checker?
I was the B main, but I went pretty much the whole way.
That must be the race that I said, who is that?
And then Clay got me right at the end.
Oh, the old one. Or the one. So, well, so did you get in the race then? So it's, I got you in the race then, so
Yep.
that you know, that's.
You got top 10 that night too, didn't you? Turns out.
And you finished top 10 in the feature after starting to beat?
Yeah.
Wow. You guys must have really did some banging that night.
No, actually, her car was running real good.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you like at Merritt? Outside, the inside, or don't care? Depends.
Probably the bottom.
About. Okay. How about you?
I got in a few wrecks, but there's this one race that really stands out in my mind, and that was a B main too. But anyway, I can't remember how many cars it was, but I started in dead last and ended up finishing second. And that's probably my favorite race of last season.
And you probably just keep that race in your memory.
Yeah.
In your memory.
How many times you watch them on YouTube?
I don't have any videos of that race. I wish I did. We went under caution in that race, and I seen him and Sonny and my whole family over there line up against the fence. Him over here was practically climbing the fence.
Well, they're proud of you. They see the improvements. And probably, if I have to guess, throughout this winter, when you think about racing, you think about that race the most. I tried racing. I tried racing on asphalt. I wasn't worth a crap. I mean, I was bad. But I had one race. One race that I started towards the back. This is at Berlin Raceway, and I went all the way up to third. I'll never forget that race because I was passing people that when they got out of their car at the end of the race, they go, "What in the hell got into him?" I mean, everybody was surprised, and I thought so to this day, when I think about my racing, it's that race. I did get a trophy. It must be Jamie Ham night. So I'll tell you a story. I knew I sold my race car. So it was the very last night of the season at Berlin. And it was trophy night. And I wanted to win a race. So Jamie, I don't even remember this, Jamie. It's Jamie Ham night. He gets underneath the hood and he pulls a spark plug out. So when I qualified, because at that time he had sportsmen, he had the A division and the B division. Well, I wanted to be in the B division. So he took a spark plug out, so I'd go slower. So that night, I started on the front row of my heat race. I won my race, got my trophy, and I retired. That's my story. Now I get to tell all kinds of stories about my trophy, how I won it. But the truth, you guys just heard. But that, a lot of memories, like I say, about just with him. But that's exciting. So you got it in you. You both know you got it in you. It's just that night, that car was set up to that track condition, and that's what yours. The car is set up for what the track's in. Is not really going to be about the speed or how much motor you got or anything. It's your driving.
I mean, the motor really comes down to like I-96 Hartford and stuff. I mean, that's when you're really putting the abuse to them. And I mean, granted, you might need motor at like Thunderbird, Merritt, Tri-City, Winston, tracks like that. But it really comes down to your setup and taking that time at the house and really learning from the week before on what your car is going to do.
Right. I mean, speaking of Berlin, it's a big track, and everybody thinks you need a lot of motor there. It's the opposite. You need less motor there to get around that track. You're faster with a smaller motor at Berlin. I don't know about Thunderbird. If that's like that, I've really only seen. I think I went there for a Hell Tour race, but I can't. But I've never seen the pits and all that, so. I got a lot to learn about Thunderbird. I'm looking forward to it. If any changes you would like to see, I mean, just kind of interesting. That
more policing in the Warriors. I think if you're gonna want to have it a stock class, I think that's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Is stock. If people are gonna do any like modifications or anything like that to their cars or their motors, you're gonna be a cyber stock. I don't think that should be allowed in there at all.
Should Now, these are good. This is questions I don't know. Do you have drivers where 1 week they pick cyber and 1 week they pick?
No, that
they all stay the same.
No. That should not even be a thing.
Okay.
You shouldn't be able to do that.
Okay.
Because once that car's registered to a cyber stock,
Okay, it's a cyber stock.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
cyber stock for
Okay.
the rest of the season.
All right,
You shouldn't be
okay.
able to move back now.
Okay, but if we have some warriors, there, I haven't really. I'm not a person. I let the rules people do the rules. Does it got in the rules where, let's say, in the past, if the promoter felt that car should be in the cyber stock, he can be moved up to there?
I think it's more or less on the tech,
Okay.
or if the promoter thinks that car should be. I would imagine. I've never seen it at Thunderbird,
Okay.
but I think it should be something if a track or a tech or an owner
Right.
sees that car as a cyber stock.
It's going cyber.
Yeah, it's going cyber stock
Right.
racing.
I don't think that. I think that's something that we'll look at. Definitely. I mean, it's the same thing in the warrior class. I'm not going to let somebody dominate that as well. And if they are dominating, they'll probably be moved up. But if they're dominating, their car is equal. I mean, you could say Chad dominated, but he didn't. Chad. At the Tri City, he'd have a couple good weeks, and then you'd have two bad ones, and a couple good weeks, and a couple bad ones. So that's or you do good at Tri City, and boy, you go over to Merritt, and you can't get going. Vice versa, So to me, that made it for such good racing, and that's what I want to see. And then, like you said, if the cyber stock's open, I have nothing to worry about.
Right.
I mean, just let them come and play, but they got to be safe. They kind of scare me. One of my questions is we'll talk about Ryan is his talent also gets him the wins. To go with the motor, and I mean he's drove Sportsman. I mean I think I'm almost for sure I know he had a championship at Berlin in the Sportsman. I don't know if he did it in modifieds or not. He might have, but then he drove modified, so he's got a lot of racing experience.
I watched him win it at Winston drive a street stock. On the last lap, he drove it off the backstretch.
Oh, really?
He was going to win it.
Win the championship?
No, he was going to win the race.
Oh, okay.
First time in there, just drove it right off the backstretch.
Is that why he doesn't drive one?
I don't know why he doesn't drive it. He has good talent, though, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
I've seen a guy like that.
Yeah.
And even, like I said, even a lot of guys, man, around all over just have good talent. Michigan's hard to race against them. I mean, I came over to Merritt with my car, and it's hard to keep up with some of you guys sometimes, and it's just talent.
Yeah. Now we're going to be definitely watching. I'm not so sure I will probably let the Cyberstock drive with the East cars, but that don't mean I won't have a Cyberstock race. I think I'm going to have a Cyberstock race. We don't have them on the schedule yet, but I'll probably get with you guys and meet with you and say, okay, what do you guys want to be part of? Do you want to be part of the wood tick? Because right now I have nothing scheduled for wood tick for either track. And if you do, if I can get enough cars to commit to come over there, I'll probably do it.
I've never been able to race it.
Because I'm never going to let, like a Ryan and Nick Gentleman knows right now, he's never going to be able to come around these guys. I'm not going to do it. I mean, it's not fair. And when you guys show up with the Cyberstock cars, I mean, every one of the guys in the pits are upset, and I don't want that.
And you guys have every right to be. I mean, it's a different playing field when
It's
you
like running against modified.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'll run door to door with them guys as long as I can.
I'll tell you how to slow them
I did
down.
a hell of a job with them.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
I'll tell you how to slow them down. I'll tell you that right now. We just got done saying Ryan Ham is one of the better drivers.
Let's turn them right.
Turn them right the other way around.
Make 4 laps.
You got to laugh like it. I mean, did you hear about that?
No. No. Oh, I did.
Yeah.
He was
He was not happy. Oh yeah, his dad wasn't happy either.
He gets going pretty good.
Yeah, it's in the rules. What I will give Ryan and all them, they had traveled. It probably wasn't a good night to do it on challenge night, but we changed the driver's seat all the way around the track. What would that do to you? Huh?
You change the setup. You gotta.
Yeah.
It's so hard to change the setup to do that.
We're not allowed to run staggered.
Oh no.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there is no setup.
Oh,
Yeah.
say like your
Pressures,
camber
you know
and
what
your.
I'm
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can't do that. Oh.
Yes.
We're
See,
limited,
see,
okay.
yeah,
You know,
we-
on that lines too, you know, now, no LSDs, so what about our Rangers and our Mustangs? Are they back to open rear end only?
I can't answer rule questions.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way I'm reading it,
Yeah,
it's an open differential only, so now,
I mean, that was a question I was gonna have too, because we run a rear-wheel drive. I know you run a rear-wheel
Yeah.
drive, and it seems like the rear-wheel drive cars are becoming a huge minority now in the four-cylinder class, and rightfully so. I mean, because all the newer cars are front-wheel drive cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but,
but
you
Yeah,
know,
with the guys that are running the Mustangs and the stuff, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage sometimes.
Yeah.
Because of that, you know. Now, in his case, I didn't want to put him in a front-wheel drive. He came out of go-karts. He's going to move up, and once he moves out of the four-cylinder class, it's all rear-wheel drive class.
Yeah.
So I didn't want him getting used to the front-wheel drive, you know, pulling him around the track versus, but yet sometimes we feel that we're at a disadvantage to the front-wheel drive
well,
cars.
you drive off the rear of your car, we drive off the right front,
Right.
period. Yeah, I mean, it's simple. Where's your traction on the right front?
You know, and we run an older Mustang, so we're carbureted. You know, we don't have an ECU. We don't have.
Yeah.
And that's an advantage and disadvantage, you know?
It can be, yes.
Yes, yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah, look at the one night. He was really
He
quick.
did,
you know,
and he did win he won a heat race early in the season. So
The only reason I won that race is because
Hey,
Dylan
you drove hard.
Vermeule's steering wheel fell off his car.
Well,
he went into the wall.
well,
That's
you
the
were in
only
position,
reason
you
I
were
won
I
that.
wish you wouldn't have told me that, because that car was my car. That's what.
But,
I remember that night though.
you know, I
so
mean,
you wouldn't win.
the four-cylinder class, you know, especially at Merritt, you know, the rules have us somewhat tied in. You know, that's going to be another thing that I'm going to have to play with, is because the Mount Pleasant rules are, you know, different than the Merritt rules to the extent that, like you say, down at Mount Pleasant we can run a locked rear end, you know. So now I got to decide, am I going to, you know, what direction are we going to go, you know? So
Well, there must be a reason why Mount Pleasant allows it. There must be a reason why Tri-City and Merritt don't. And
Well,
I would not be able to answer that. You know, when it comes to the rules on, you know, my rules is tech. You know, if I pick a rule, it's hey, you know, you got to get weighed afterwards, something like that. Those are my rules. When it comes to the actual tech things, I don't know nothing. I rely on Joey and Jimmy and everybody else to. But if you call Joey, one thing about Joey, if he doesn't know the answer, he'll get the answer. And that's one thing I like about Joey as a.
we went through that last year.
Yeah. He'll get the answer. I do not have that answer for you, but get a hold of Joey or Jimmy, and they'll be able to answer that for you. Because I really.
Yeah, that's what my thing was. How was the Mustangs and everything going to keep up to a front-wheel drive now?
Yeah.
You know,
Are we allowed to? I'm not gonna say I don't know. Are we allowing the VTEC now or no?
VVT?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. Okay. So the Hondas are all good.
VTEC is different. VVT.
Right. What's a VTEC then? What's a
VTEC is your cyber class.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
that's why I know that name. All right. So, but the VVC is
VVT is your Chevrolet and your Ford.
Okay. So a Honda cannot drive in your division. Okay. You know.
It can, excuse me, but it can't be that VTEC.
Okay, can't have the VTEC, right? Okay, all right. So I did have the word right. Okay, and that's
Because we had a couple that ran last year.
yeah.
We
And
had one at Tri-City, and then we had the one up to Merritt.
they visited, right?
Was it
Did they
H20 or something?
No.
No. Okay.
They were
Kind
only
of showed
there
up
3 or 2
mid-season or
nights.
something and run
Yeah.
2 nights. So.
Yeah. You know, I think on something like that now. I always like to give myself notes. I think if someone shows up, if someone shows up to your track like that, you don't want to turn a racer away. But I think it's something you can do with something like that. If someone shows up and they add a lot of weight to the car, so they can race, but they can have the advantage.
In the 4-cylinder class obviously is a stepping stone.
It's
So
supposed to be.
This is where you learn
Right.
set up on cars. This is where you learn, oh man, I went the wrong way on air pressures.
Yeah, and that's what she's learning.
Oh man, I went the
Yeah.
wrong way putting this spring here,
Right.
that spring there, or
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you're limited on a front wheel drive to an extent.
Yep.
But there's a lot of things you can do to that you can't on a rear wheel drive. Vice versa, you can do a lot on your car that I can't do on mine.
Right.
You know, and I build a lot.
Right.
And everybody knows I build a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and our big thing is keeping a car square. If you can keep a car square, it's gonna handle. You know, nothing against the cyberstock guys, but man, I pulled in the Merritt one day and I see these tires on the back
Oh, I know.
cocked and turned. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
what is going on here?
Yeah.
Then we goes out there and we did circles around it, and I'm like, wow. You know, it didn't work at your track, but it probably worked at another track.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so, and you know, that kind of gave me a little swelled head. I had to loosen the helmet strap up a little bit. You know?
And I've probably heard about it.
No, it's just really neat seeing the different setups you have in Mustangs in your truck, and then you see three Cobalts next to each other and ain't one the same. You see your Cavaliers, not a one the same. You know, you prefer four-door Cavalier, we run two-door. You know, you like the flex in the car, I don't like the flex in the car. You know, so
Yeah.
in four-door, what, 200 pounds lighter?
Yeah.
So.
How about the weight restriction that we require for
I love it.
Well,
I love it. It makes all the cars pretty much equal.
now the weight for Cyber has got to be the same for the other Thunderbird.
The weight is 24, I think. 24. But Warriors, I think it's single cam and dual cam. They're two different weights. I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been a couple years since I've ran them.
Okay.
See, ours was 2,600.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I really wish, and all the tracks would come together on this, and it's finding just one weight in particular. So you throw up at Midwest Dirt or Winston, I think their weights are all off compared to what Thunderbird's weights are. You go to your track up there, your weights are different than what they are. You go to Crystal, their weights are all different. It's like, can we just get one weight?
Well,
And I get because of VDT and all that, and I get what they're trying to do, but can we get like one base, if it's not like a touring series, one base at all the tracks so you can go race everywhere?
okay. I'm in my opinion, which everybody knows, so I speak the way I want. The Midwest Tour, you know, I've always thought it was pretty cool that Drew and them got a four-cylinder tour together.
It's a great tour.
You know, I mean, for some, I think it was one of the smartest ideas. Matter of fact, if I did not own the racetracks, that's definitely what I'd be doing. I'd have a four-cylinder. You know, I finally got my Challenge Series tour, and I'm looking very forward to it. You know, where we're going to be going, and I hope it works out good. But the only thing is, us track promoters, you know, are not involved in Midwest rules.
No.
You know, they don't get us involved, and I think it's wrong. And then they, you know, so when they come to our track, you know, which I'm going to respect, Drew, you know, they came up with these rules, you know, that they got, and when they come to our track, they say, hey, we want you to make sure that we go by our rules. Okay, that's fair. So like for instance, if we let Ryan Ham and a couple other drivers race in the cyber stock class, they will not be able to race Midwest then. Okay, that's fair. To me, they should change their mind on that and add weight to them, because what good is it to bring a tour if they ain't have cars? You know, who's going to come and race with them? They need to work with the promoters more. I like what they're doing. I don't, and I'm being right honest. I've talked, you know, the big thing is, if you look at their website, it's all about Florida. What did Florida do for you, that race? What did that Florida do for you? Did you go to the race?
No.
Did you guys watch it, buy it? It has nothing to do with Michigan four-cylinder racing. It's good for four-cylinder racing. It's good for their thing. I didn't care a crap one thing about it as a promoter. You know, I got a little upset when when they got on there. Hey, promoters in Michigan, you should watch and learn from what they're doing in Florida. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Buy my track. You can do it, you know. So, I got a little bad taste in my mouth over that. I'm not going to deny that. Florida has nothing to do with us, and then they come back with all these rules. And that's when they changed the Ryan Ham rule, as I want to call it now. And it's all because of the national tour. The national tour, I don't care about. I mean, and I don't think 95% of the drivers in Michigan. What do you got, Jason Jones? I think racing national. That's about it. How many did he get?
Yeah, you got a couple. I like the dirt that they do.
Yeah.
And Drew and them are great guys.
They got a good thing going, but I think they're going to blow it if they don't. If they want to stay in Michigan and have a tour in Michigan, it's got to be about us Michigan promoters. They need to be talking to us when they, you know, I get the Thunderbird. Good example. I get to the Thunderbird meet and greet, and I find out. I pull into the building, get in the building, we got a problem. What do we got a problem about? Ryan Ham. They made a new rule. Ryan Ham can't race. You know, so, okay. You know, and then all of a sudden, beep, beep, there's Ryan on my phone. Beep, beep, Jamie's on my phone. Beep, beep, everybody, what's going on? I don't, you know, I got a meet and greet to do. I'm not going to make no decisions today.
Right.
You know, well, Winston's going to allow it. So you got to allow it. Well, I'll be honest with you. I called Winston and Drew, which was a good phone call because we're kind of working together. I don't know. Speaking of that, I forget. You're going to see some cyberstock races that we connected with together on our schedule. When our schedule comes out tomorrow, you're going to see when Winston has a cyberstock special, we have a cyberstock the next day at Thunderbird. Same with Warriors. When they have a Warrior special, we're going to have a Warrior special the next night. When they have a Pro Late special at Winston, we're doing the same thing. When they have their late model special, we're doing the same thing the next night. So, I had a good conversation with Drew, not Drew, Dean Wilkinson. His son is named Drew. You know, and I called him. Well, why are you going to let? And his explanation was good, but you know, I probably said some things, you know, pretty bad about Midwest, but it's got to be about Michigan. You know, and they have a good thing going here in Michigan.
They do. Drew and Woody have a great.
But I'm afraid they're going to blow it if they keep talking about Florida. I don't care about Florida. I don't care about New York. That's their national tour. Let's talk about what we do here, and don't bring those national rules down to the state rules. And that's what they did. And so, with that being said, it's causing some conflict. It's caused some conflict. It's been a hard week for me. I mean, it really has. Just because of one rule change that they made without talking to the promoters, you know? And it's been a long week, and I'm still dealing with it. And Mr. Ham does not know yet at this point if I'm letting him race or not, you know? And I don't know what to do. To me, you know, I got to talk to my tech. Yeah, I don't like to go over my tech's head, but in my opinion, if he dominates, we'll add pound each to him. But I think he should get the race, you know. But don't let that rule change, you know. And so I'm really worried that Drew and Woody are really losing their focus on Michigan, and that's what I'm scared about. Because it was all winter was all about the Florida once they got that Florida, which was cool. Which was, you know, a cool event, a cool event, but it didn't do anything for Michigan. You know, it was good for them. It's good, you know, and I'm proud of them, but not good for our four-cylinders. It didn't do anything for us, and they sure should not have brought the rules from there to here, and that's the problem we're dealing with right now, and it's been a long week because of it, and I'm not so sure that I don't know what to do about that. We're going to have to make some changes, you know, and I hope, you know, I'm sure they watch the show or they're going to hear about it for sure, but you know, I kind of stay with it. I want to. What do you have to say? How about sponsors?
The other one.
Yeah. You think, and who helps you?
My dad especially. you to him. All my sponsors, Huntington Electric, Snappy's Garage, Set and Done Signs and Designs, Boscher Dairy, Ames, Belgium.
Okay. And they all, and how about anybody helped you?
My dad.
Your dad? Big time, right?
Yep.
I'll tell you, your dad's a good guy. You know, he has any concerns or anything, you know, he comes right in here and we talk him out. Very nice, you know, just like the banquet thing. I'd have never known. So I still feel bad. How about yourself? You gonna do it for him?
Well, I guess, yeah. You know, we got several sponsors. I want to thank Harrison Realty, of course. The place I work, Federal Brook Machine. We actually are kind of unique. I have a international sponsor, Star Issue Federal in Mexico, North Central Machine out of Houghton Lake, Living the Dream Graphics. It does all the graphics on the car.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple old racers, Riverside Racing. They helped me out a lot. And of course my dad, of course, it started in racing. He's up in age, but he's still out in the garage every chance he can working on the car.
Did he race at Merritt, did he? Or?
Yeah, he raced at Merritt. Like I said, he started out at Auto City down
Okay.
in Mount Morris when it was dirt, and then he transferred up here to Merritt. Later on, he was originally from up Harrison, so, but he's still at the track every week.
Cool. Cool. How about you?
We're pretty filled up this
Oh
year.
my God!
Yeah, got a list.
You know what? You know, before you go to that list, last week we had the mini wedges. We had the kids. I don't know if you watched the show. Some of them had a list this long. I'm thinking, holy mackerel, we're gonna go to them guys and start getting sponsorships. But go ahead.
Bonafide Customs.
Who's that?
Oh, Jamie.
Jamie Ham. Okay.
Yeah. Sandy's Harley Davidson, they're out of Fremont. Professional Security Services. Ramos on an auto body. Hustler Chassis, they built my car. Build it all safe. Teach 'em as Auto, Accent Roofing, Sprague's Auto Parts, 76 Creations, Double Deuce Graphics, Exhaust Specialties, TBG Tune, Brad Chandler, Carson Creations, Whitner Rose, R&D Setups, and then Ryan Ham, and then my mom and family and friends. Can't do it without them.
Oh no, you can't. What was it? And your mom, family, and friends?
Yeah, family. My mom does a lot, man. She lets me work out of that garage and up and just work on other people's stuff out of there.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. Cool.
Yeah.
Does she come to all the races?
Oh yeah. Well, she doesn't come on Friday nights. It's her night off kind of deal. She just
Okay, that's fine.
does her own
She
thing.
comes Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've been in racing for over 40 years. My
Really?
Uncle Tom Dusen started 40 years ago, and she was a pit crew on there.
Okay.
And then my Uncle Dean Barnhard raced, and my Uncle Chops raced, and then my cousin Heidi started racing. And
All at
that's how-
Thunderbird?
Yeah, they all raced at Thunderbird and Crystal, and
Okay.
then my cousin Heather, her husband Buck started racing, and I started helping him in 2014 and 15, and in 18 I started.
So you're born and raised around racing.
I love it.
You too? You're probably born and raised.
Yeah,
with
I don't
your
even know how many years it's been racing.
dad. Yeah. And then you're Devin Razor. How about you?
Hey, this is my first year ever on full tour, ever.
Now, what did you do before racing?
I started out demolition derby.
That's why someone said you were big
And-
into demolition derby.
And I took a bunch of years off to raise my kids, and then I got back into it when my youngest was born, and it was off and on. And me and my brother Marv, we teamed up in Bump and Run in 15. We went out and won everything in the year. Got a championship, 3 of them that year. Then we tried Whittemore for on and off for a year. We built a car for there. They didn't like our stick shift, so we had to leave.
No.
So we ended up coming to dirt at the end of 2020. I run one time, and I run one time at Merritt, and I'm like, man, I don't want that. That ain't for me.
Really?
You know, and kind of got my arm twisted, and we built the car last year. Struggled a little bit. I picked up a rock in the oil pan first night at Tri-City. I wasn't going to run, or at Merritt, excuse me. I wasn't going to run Tri-City, period. I was just going to show up for the Challenge Series. When I sees my nephew, Chad, doing so good, and I said, well, I got to try it too, you know. So I went down there, and we did all right.
Good. You did very good.
We did real well. You know?
It was fun because it seems like you were always involved in for the lead, you know, in the top 4, top 5 at both tracks. So it was always fun to watch you. You made it very you made that division competitive.
28 out of 31 races in the top 5.
Yeah, you made them guys race, and that's what made for good racing in the 4-cylinder class. So, do you have anybody you want to thank? Or
yeah, I got to thank Marv and Chad. You know, wasn't for them two. You know, Chad strips the cars out. Marv, we got the garage. We help out a lot of kids. Anybody comes to the garage, we help them out. You know,
yeah, that's cool.
It's part of racing. You know, I'd rather see this kid race than myself. You know.
Yeah.
And we got to thank Teddy from Thayer Roofing. You know, he's been a sponsor for years for Bump and Run, and he moved on to doing Circle Track now. Daryl McBride, he's a good sponsor. He helps us out a lot. Saginaw Welding helps out a lot. We got Deals on Wheels come on a couple years ago. They do real well for us. You know, we don't have big sponsors like that. You know, it's out of pocket and it's out
Anything
there.
else?
You know,
Anything else? Right. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
So,
we get the job done when we need to.
Right.
You know.
Marv, I gotta meet Marv. I mean, Marv. I haven't met Marv. I've talked to him on the phone. I guarantee he had a heart attack because he called me up and was thinking he was going to have a big debate with me. And
Well, I can tell you one thing about Marv right now.
Yeah.
He is the biggest sore loser in the world.
It was a great conversation. So he opened my eyes up to what the east side of the state needed and wanted, and all it took was the right, catch me at the right time and the right phone call, and he did, and he handled himself correctly, and I did, and that's surprisingly for me. So Chad, real quick, he's building another car, and I know he was on the on our program here a few weeks ago,
we
but
just, got the cage done.
okay,
It's on to everything else now.
all right,
You know.
good.
But it's great. You know, I mean,
Right.
I love seeing the younger come in. You know.
Right,
I'm,
it is.
I'm
It is.
tipping 50 years old.
Yeah,
My first year ever out
yeah.
there, I'm on cloud nine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I love it because I get all the people that, boy, all the years of experience you got.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
say, well, this is my first full year.
Yeah,
They're like, no
right.
way. You know, well, honestly, yes. Yeah, I did some enduros
Yeah.
back in the day, but that was enduro. That's straight race, and there was
Right.
real no setups back then. Heck, you didn't even have to have a cage. You
Yeah.
know? And we did 250 consecutive laps. You know?
Yeah, right.
You get 80 cars on a quarter-mile track at the same time. That's a lot.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the Enduros, you're going to see another one added to Thunderbird. Because I think they did 2 a year, if I'm not mistaken. And I only got one. And I might be trying one at both Tri-City and one at Merritt, and they're going to pay pretty good. So be expecting some announcements on that. I want to take the time to thank you guys again. A little late on the trophies, but at least we got you a jacket, and we really appreciate you racing and coming to the banquet and all, and coming to Cadillac, from Falmouth, and thank you again, and you and yourself. You came from Muskegon, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, and I think it was very important to have it. When you volunteered to come on the show today, we just put it on there yesterday. You gave me a Cyberstock driver. I have no idea who you are. First time I met you when you sat down, and it's good because I probably needed to hear. You could have done. I know that was next day here to you, Federal Express. If
Thank
not,
you, Jamie.
Jamie got in his truck and delivered it to you today. But
Could have been Ryan's.
or could be Ryan's, yeah. But no, I think you coming. I think we're all on the same page when it comes to Cyberstock. I really am. I just got to get my inspectors and all that to understand that this is a little bit of an open class. And I love what Midwest is doing. So if you took me the wrong way, like I said, I've told Drew what they're doing is awesome. But I like the Michigan. I'm in Michigan. I want it to be based out of Michigan, and whatever they do outside of Michigan, that's fine. But keep the Michigan thing going. Working with us promoters, and they'll be better off if they do, and you guys will be better off. So, all right. Well, that's it for the show. We went a little overtime. Thanks for everybody. Next week, I think we're going to try to get some pro stock drivers, So if you drive in factory stock, and you drive either factory stocks and pro stock, and would like to come on the show, all you gotta do is drive the Cadillac. And gas prices are a little high right now, but I do appreciate it. And so you guys have a good St. Patty's Day, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks. Bye.